Hello, welcome to the Squirrel Circus podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host Ian, and we're gonna keep talking a little bit about the whole Satanism versus New Age thing. We're gonna try to explore some aspects of it that we didn't last time, get deeper into some stuff. And yeah, anything you want to say?
No, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah, I think.
All right. So something that was my fault we didn't bring up last time is this concept of Babylon. The Judeo-Christian tradition is obsessed with this idea of Babylon, and especially Christian authors since John in Revelation point to Babylon as like the epitome of sin and wrongdoing in the world. Christian authors create this, binary between Babylon, which is the worst kind of civilization that can be, and Jerusalem, which is the best kind of civilization that can be. Which
Okay.
is really ironic because historically Babylon was always richer, more prosperous, more beautiful than Jerusalem was. And so
Interesting.
this gets to one of Nietzsche's ideas that a lot of Christianity and a lot of Christian ideas come out of a resentment toward the world as it is, resentment at the failures of the Judean tradition. And so they look to this other city, this other place that is wealthy and prosperous, but doesn't follow any of the customs of Jerusalem. And they're like, well, that thing, that prosperity, that is all birthed from evil. And this world, this material plane, is the world of the devil, and it is evil, and it is fallen. And that's why such a fallen people can build a civilization that's so magnificent. And in contrast, yeah, maybe we have a Blackwater, tiny little civilization here, but we're the good guys. We have the virtues commanded to us by our Lord and Savior. And so we will be rewarded in the next life. And when the apocalypse comes, that's going to be a good thing because this world, which is the evil world, is going to be ruined.
It will end and all those people just go to fucking hell.
Exactly. And that's going to be awesome. And that's going to be fantastic.
They're just waiting anxiously for that to happen. Yeah.
Literally, and that was Jewish apocalypticism all the way up to Jesus. And Jesus was an apocalyptic prophet.
Dang. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean,
Always
no
talking about
judgment, but
the
yeah.
end times is coming. The exalted will be brought down, and the ones that are down will be exalted, and everything is going to be flipped on its head because we just can't tolerate that these people are so much more prosperous than us. And of course, there's a modern parallel to that, which is Islamic countries thinking, well, how is the West so much more prosperous than all of these Islamic countries if they are bad, if they're the evil guys, they're the
Yeah.
infidels, they're the heretics, they're the pagans, How are they better off than we are? It's that same instinct that Nietzsche points to of resentment. So the question does rise, how does Babylon become so prosperous? How does that work? Like, what is its alignment with the virtues of this world that makes it such an incredible civilization? Whether it be Babylon in the ancient sense or Babylon in the modern sense, which is mainly the USA.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I guess, I mean, connecting it, because I personally, like, don't know much about Babylon. Like, you have explained this very well. And I understand what. what significance it carries now. But from what we were talking last time, I can see where this is going. I can see Babylon being more of a, I mean, satanic pagan, uh, well, more oriented into that way of culture, I guess. I
Oh,
I
certainly.
I,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I mean, what what would be like the predominant religion, or what would be like Babylon's religion? What religion did they follow? Did
Well,
they
like the
have a
Greeks,
religion?
they were polytheists. They
Okay.
had Astarte, they had Marduk, Enlil. They had all sorts of deities that, also like the Norse deities, represented ways of being, ways of interacting with the world, dispositions toward reality. And so it's hard to say they were uh, this ists or that ists. They were
Yeah.
all over the place. They had this pantheon of options that they constantly had to wrestle with balancing.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I can only think of when you have so many options of things to believe in, then you have the choice, right? You don't have like a dogmatic definition of what good is, right? When you find good in anything and prospering, whatever way it might be, right? Making money, whatever way it might be, then yeah, I mean, that does that make sense? I don't know.
Elaborate, elaborate.
If you have one God, then there is one right thing. And that right thing, one good thing, that good thing is God.
Yeah.
Right? There are no more possible good things than whatever God created and whatever God is giving humanity and whatever God is, right? But if you have many gods, if you have many powers that stand for each thing, for each attitude, for each, then there are many goods, right? There are many ways
Yeah.
of achieving good, and therefore you have the liberty to create and the liberty to experiment and to the liberty to proliferate in different ways, which might be better, might be worse, but it gives you the liberty of finding which way of constructing is the better way, right? And when you have like a more singular path towards good, there has to be like a formula that you have to follow towards good, towards God, right? And that kind of takes away the possibility of creation, the possibility of finding new ways to to produce, right? To
No, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
think that
I'm
I
getting
think
it
that
now.
makes more
That
sense,
makes
right?
perfect sense.
Yeah, I kinda had trouble explaining it at the
No, no,
beginning,
that
but
was perfect.
yeah,
Uh, I think both the Abrahamic and the New Age tradition get into this problem where the best thing you can possibly do is leave behind the ideas and thoughts of this world and simply connect with God, whether that be by going to church or praying or meditating or listening to some different frequency that's going to get your mind in tune with the R key or anything like that. That's the best thing you can possibly do. All of the other stuff that you do in this world is beneath that. And when you have the alternative, which is there are multiple good things you can do in this world, through this world, it stops being just about ritual. It's like you can serve the god Hephaestus by working steel, or you can serve Aphrodite or the the Babylonian Aphrodite, Ishtar, by reproducing, having children, or by tending to a field. Although tending to a field will be more Demeter than Aphrodite. The Greek pantheon is
Right.
at least
Yeah.
better understood. I better understand it than the Babylonian. You can do all sorts of things. You can be an honest merchant and serve Hermes. You can be a weatherman, meteorologist and serve Zeus. There are so many ways for you to be a good person through participation in this life with the material world.
Yeah.
And well, it's like which one of those is going to produce more prosperity? There's only one way to be good, which detaches you from the world, or there are multiple ways to be good, which connect you with the world. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. That
why
makes
is
total
Babylon
sense.
more prosperous? It's kind of a no-brainer.
Totally. Yeah. And I guess it also like not only affects. I mean, there is definitely a connection between prosperity and ability of production and I guess general happiness of a population. I believe. Right? General feeling of purpose in general, which I guess is also pretty important. But yeah.
Well, what I've heard is there's sort of there's a weird line that goes like this. Like your happiness increases. Like if you don't have food and then you have food, your happiness is going to increase. If you don't have
Hmm.
a house and then you have a house, your happiness is going to increase. But when you get to a certain level, it splits. There are people that when they have their bare needs met, no matter how much richer they get than that, they're going to stay at the same level of happiness. And there are people that they can always get more stuff and will be happier for it, like endlessly upward, which is
Okay.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I think this would be my contention. There can be a spiritual transformation in people that turns them from the first kind that sort of flattens out into the second kind that goes higher and higher and higher. And that spiritual transformation is only going to be achieved through an understanding of purpose framed by a pantheon of gods. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I also kind of see it as for for the monotheistic side, your life becomes about what I shouldn't do so that I don't mess this life up, right? What are the sins that I can commit? And knowing them, I should not commit them. So you're kind of thinking more like when you live that kind of mentality and that lifestyle, you're kind of thinking of what should I not do? What is not right? What is not right? Is Babylon right? Babylon is not right. I shouldn't do that. I should keep doing but you're constantly thinking about what is not right, what I shouldn't be doing. Whereas on the other side, when you have all these options, it becomes more about what should I do, right? What should I do to fulfill this purpose? What should I do to venerar a mi Dios, right? To as you say, every single job, every single profession carries a divine spirit within itself, right? So it's more
And
about what should I do to fulfill this divine spirit, more than what I shouldn't do to not anger it, right? And to not.
yes, and profession in the broader sense, like not just the your job that makes you money, but your relationships with other people. Like, how do I become the best brother I can be, or the best mother I can be, or the best son I can be. It's everything. It's how do I do it right? And of course, there's guidelines on how not to do it wrong, and that's useful, but those guidelines need to be determined in a positive sense. Like
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
it's not enough to do what Christians love to do, and negative theology is very popular in Judeo-Christianity. Like, well, God is not this, God is not that, God is not that, God is not that, God is not this, God is not that. It's like, yeah, but what is it? And
Yeah.
they don't really like to answer that question. And so it's useful to have an answer to that question and to the negative questions. If you can have both of those, then you can have a clear ethical path ahead of you.
Yeah, yeah, that
And
makes total sense. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
the Christians love to say, well, Western civilization is built on a Judeo-Christian foundation that is the synthesis of Athens and Jerusalem. There are so many current thinkers around the world that think like that way. Athens
Yeah.
seems to be doing most of the work there, not Jerusalem. But Western civilization at its best seems to be more of a mix of Athens and Babylon.
Okay.
Western civilization at its worst seems to be a mix of Alexandria and Babylon. Jerusalem just doesn't seem to get people anywhere. Like we had Jerusalem dominating for 1,000 years, a
Hmm.
little bit less than that. It's called the Dark Ages. We had Mecca dominating Middle Eastern civilization for a few hundred years. How's that turned out? Babylon and Athens. Those are genuine, magnificent, wealth producing, life nourishing civilizations.
My question is, what happened to these civilizations?
I
They
think they
were
evolved. They
they
just
evolved.
turned, traveled into different places, and sometimes traveled through Christianity. Christianity sort of absorbed everything except what it didn't like. It destroyed a lot of what it didn't like. Destroyed a lot of Athens and a lot of Babylon. But even the fragments that remain they're not like broken pieces of a vase, that you're trying to put back together. No, they're seeds.
Right.
And there's plenty of fertile land that those seeds have been planted on and have grown and have outgrown the Christian tree.
Yeah, it has a inevitable course to change, right? In history, it's just nothing seems to be just stable enough. As good as it might get, it never like
Uh,
lives forever.
everything, everything dies, everything crumbles.
Yeah.
But well, this gets back to the whole Spyfinder thing. Like before it crumbles, how awesome can it get?
Yeah,
How
totally.
how great can it become before it dies? That's the question that the bodybuilders, for example, love to wrestle with. So like, yeah, I know eventually my body's just going to be a bunch of bones in the ground, swollen bones,
Yeah.
but while I'm alive, how incredible can I become?
Yeah, no matter what cost, right? It's I guess it's better to burn than to fade away. Or what was the quote, that famous Neil Young quote? I think it's that.
Neil Young. Who's Neil Young?
Neil Young is a very, very influential folk singer from the United States from the
From
60s,
Babylon.
70s, from Babylon, yeah, probably. I don't know where exactly he is from, but yeah, pretty great guy. Better to,
I mean, the USA, the New Age people love to call the USA New Babylon. So it's like, okay, sure.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, guess what? Babylon was never the bad guy.
It's better to burn out than to fade away, I
To
guess.
burn out, like to fade away.
Who knows? Who knows? I
Yep.
don't know. I guess.
Also
I
a
guess.
very apocalyptic idea, but in the good way.
Yeah, I mean, you can just, well, I don't know, coming back to the bodybuilders, right? You can like just keep injecting hormones into your muscles to make them as big as possible before they just crush your internal organs and shit. I don't know why. What are the health repercussions of steroids? But yeah,
Erectile dysfunction.
that's one of them. They get a bunch of like acne, right? And just I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't do that myself, honestly. But respect,
No,
respect.
yeah, definitely respect. We would not do it with big balls. Well, I guess not after the steroids, but big balls.
Big balls and then just no balls.
You need
Yeah,
big balls to shrink them.
yeah. I guess big balls fall easier than little balls. I don't know.
Smaller target.
Smaller target.
Oh man.
Shit.
Well, I think that's about all I had for the Babylon stuff. Well, what else you got? Well,
What have
there's one
I
more
got?
thing. There's the whole pop stars are destroying the uh, the public's spiritual connection with the one God. They are embodying the Lady Babylon uh, idea from Revelations. You know, like yeah, there's this idea in Revelations of Lady Babylon riding the nine-headed dragon. I don't know how many heads the dragon had, but it had good head. I mean, and, and yeah, the she comes in riding the dragon, and then people used to connect that to Katy Perry's Super Bowl halftime show, where she like waltzes in on a giant silver tiger, friggin' full
Crazy
stuff. So
stuff.
what do you
Crazy
think
stuff.
about? Do you think pop stars are destroying the spirits of the youth with their satanic Babylon, I don't know,
I don't know.
generations?
I do see. I do see like a path towards destruction and towards, well, no, I don't know if destruction, but towards like death, I guess, and in the pop scene nowadays. I don't know. Like I don't know if I see like all these connections, or I believe in all these connections, that they're like deliberately trying to show us symbols of like Babylon and shit to kind of give us hints of what they're actually standing for. And but I don't know. I do think like there is a tendency of manipulation within the pop industry, of manipulation and towards entropy. I do see it. I do see it. Uh,
Elaborate,
I don't know.
elaborate.
I need questions to answer to kind of organize my brain. But
I have a question. How far back do you think it goes? Like when did this tendency begin?
I think it's within human nature. I think it's within human nature trying to gain as much towards your own advantage in the easiest way possible.
'Cause I think if you want to really take it back, the one that started all of the Babylon in music shit, at least in modern history, was Mozart.
Do you think so?
Yeah, the whole
Was he like
opera with the
the
witches. He literally had a song called "Lick My Ass."
yeah, I guess.
That's more vulgar than like 99% of pop singers today.
I guess. I mean, yeah, it's it's true. I mean, I was watching a documentary about Woodstock '99. Right? There were I don't know how many Woodstocks were there. I think there were like three Woodstocks, three or four. The first one was in '69, I think, and there was one in '94. Maybe I'm missing one, but the '91 one wasn't famous because it ended like very badly. You know, Woodstock, like the whole point of Woodstock was trying to bring youth together in the cheapest way possible, but try to make the biggest event possible, right? To bring youth together originally with the idea, in '69, with the idea of kind of manifesting and trying to spread awareness about Vietnam, right? And
And it
about the
was
Cold War and shit.
filled to the brim with new age stuff.
It was filled to the
It,
brim. I mean,
it
it
was
was a
way more
place
new
where
age
people would
than
do whatever the fuck they wanted, right? And
yeah.
in the '69, the tendency was to do stuff that kind of lead towards peace and lead towards freedom, which were just getting naked, dancing in mud, and taking drugs and psychedelics and trip balls and I don't know. But it seems like pop- population, or at least culture within the United States, in general, pop culture just changed a lot from '69 to '99 in 30 years. Because '69 was like it is well remembered as a great event, right? Where there were like crazy artists that attended like literally for free, and I mean there were sort of logistical problems, but in '94 it became more a thing of rage, right? It wasn't necessarily about the war. It was more about looking for freedom. I feel in youth, and, and I guess both events share the same name but had like completely different results. But still, there is a Babylonian spirit in both, right? One kind of led to peace. One led to absolute destruction.
I don't know if I would call it Babylon. With the Woodstock, maybe the '94 one, yes, but I think the '69 one was more Jerusalem, Alexandria style, like
Why?
peace and love and harmonizing everyone and the flower of life and all that stuff. All the new age stuff is more Alexandria, Jerusalem than
Okay.
Babylon. That's really the divide in the whole. Well, I shouldn't say that's not really the divide because there's a bunch of divides, but that's one way to think of the divide between New Age and satanic paganism. One is like Babylon plus Athens, satanic paganism, and the other is Jerusalem plus Alexandria, and that's New Age stuff.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I get it. Although Woodstock '69 was definitely much better, much like much more beautiful and just ended just so much better. It just wasn't as because
What
Woodstock
happened in
'94,
'94? What did it go wrong?
'94, what went wrong is the it I think the main difference between '69 and '94 is that '94 was kind of organized in a more towards profit way. It was
Hmm.
more pro profit. I think that definitely did affect because it was towards profit, but the spirit of Woodstock is also like doing it like kind of for free, right? Trying to do it as cheap as possible. So they organized this massive event where they just didn't have the infrastructure and they didn't have like the planification right, like they trusted that the youth would get into this peace and love state and they would kind of keep it just because it is Woodstock and just because they should in theory like have the spirit of Woodstock. The thing is many people, well, first of all, I think in 30 years, this like peace and love spirit, well after the Cold War ended, just kind of
Yeah.
dissipated, right? It just kind of, or it took a very different meaning, right? And the original meaning kind of disappeared just because of the circumstances of Earth, well, of the planet, so the organization was so bad that people started to get very mad. There was so many, but so many young people just started getting out of control and just like starting to break down all the limited infrastructure, like the little amount of infrastructure there was, they just started tearing it down. Everyone was getting naked. I mean, there was like this similarity to '69 because everyone was naked, doing drugs and dancing. The problem is in '69 everyone was like dancing for peace, and in '94 everyone was sorry, yeah, everyone was dancing for destruction, right? And dancing
Right.
for vengeance and dancing for, and the music was very different too. I mean, in '69 you got all these folk artists, this kind of more mellow rock and roll type folk thing. And
Mhm.
in '94, you got Limp Bizkit, you got Rage Against the Machine,
Right.
you had the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you had. So the thing, it ended in a lot of sexual assault. It ended in a lot of injured people. I think there was a lot of dead people too. Many people died in that thing. Um, but I don't know why.
I mean, the way we got here, like, when do you think music, at least, started turning toward this entropy thing? Because I'm pointing to Mozart, but that's just
Yeah,
because we don't really have good records of what musicians were doing like before that.
I think yeah, like specifically music, yeah, definitely. Like before Mozart, because Mozart is classical, right? And
Yeah,
before that was a Baroque, and the Baroque was a lot about like the study of music,
yeah, and it
right?
was very
Like Bach
godly.
was a big advocate for just trying to understand music as
Mm.
best as possible, right? It was more of a mathematical, scientifical course of knowledge than it was artistic, I feel.
Okay.
Although Bach composed some beautiful stuff, right? And I think that was where there started to be like the clash between how much of music is mathematics and science and truth, and how much of music is expression, and how much of music is freedom, right? And how much of music is, you kind of start finding all these philosophical views behind music. right?
I
In
mean,
one
we can go
sense.
all the way back for that. Pythagoras
You
had
can
this
go
idea.
all the way back. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Pythagoras
I,
had this idea of like, oh, music is just number and the harmonies between the da 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 da.
yeah,
And but before Pythagoras, you had Orpheus, and Orpheus was just making songs about his love and about his pain. And he had a whole cult of Orpheus dedicated to
yeah.
music.
I mean, the whole Greek tragedy, the whole Greek theater, the whole Greek religion, right? Is songs that have a sole purpose of expression, right? The whole purpose of communication of something more, right? So there, I feel like it seems like it seems like there are ups and downs in history, right? Where at some points it seems like music just kind of becomes this very negentropic thing where all of music is or the it seems like the trend behind the music is to express and to tell a story, and then there is like the other side, right, of the negentropy, right, of the
But why,
understanding music and using it for a more scientific purpose. And I
why do you think that modern music is on the toward entropy side?
I think
Because it still seems, at least to me, like very expressive, very story driven.
it is, but the thing is, I know you're gonna so much debate whatever I'm gonna say, so I have to think it well. I have to think of how to tell the story, because I have tried. It just seems like so much of the institution of pop music, right? So much of what brings the big pop artists together, right? And what decides that the name of Katy Perry is part of this group of elite musicians and elite artists.
Was, was. She
Was.
hasn't, she hasn't been at the top for
I mean, yeah,
years.
yeah, that's true. Was. I mean, nowadays, yeah, different people, but the same story, right? It's different people, but the same story that are given are given a spotlight. Are given a spotlight and are given an award for being the most listened and for being the most influential, but I do not feel like being the most listened and the most influential pushes towards negentropy.
Why
I
not?
think there are I think there are more layers to that, because influence can be manipulated.
Yeah,
Influence can be manufactured. And
yeah.
usually when influence is manufactured, it is because of when music sorry when yeah, yeah, when influence is manufactured and then it is carefully crafted, it is because there is an interest behind, right? And the
Yeah.
interest behind the influence, if there is an influence, like the sole thing of being and of having a desire of influence is already optimistic, is already a drive for power and a drive for
But this is again the split between Odin and Mercury. I think the Romans made a mistake when they said that Odin and Mercury are the same thing. I think influence is Mercurian. It is, yeah, Mercurian. Power is Odinistic. Power means if you don't do as I say, bad things will happen to you. influence is, well, look at all of the rewards you're gonna get if you listen to me. It's like a carrot and the stick thing.
I guess, but
Odin
it's
holds the stick, Mercury holds the carrot.
but for me it seems like yeah, the artist, the individual artist, definitely represents a spirit of Mercury. But what I feel and what people talk about and what it seems to be the reality is that Mercury seems to be kind of held hostage by Odin. That is
Uh,
what seems to be happening because all of this is manufactured. The whole thing of moving music, right, and giving people music that they want to listen to is not something that is managed by the artists. It is managed by people in suits, by men in suits, right? It
right.
is managed by men who have no idea, no interest in art, right? They have no interest the in the spirit of music, right? The whole concept of Spotify, for example, which is the biggest music distributor today.
Mm.
I don't think the people who manage Spotify really care about influence of music. Like they need influence to kind of lure people in and to kind of, but they're using it for a different purpose, right? It's not to lure people in and give them something that is rewarding. Is more about luring them in and kind of sucking from them and sucking their spirit in a way and sucking and because I don't know now that I watched the Grammys,
Oh, yeah,
all
the
the
Grammys
music,
are
the Gra-
ridiculous.
they're ridiculous.
They
They're
are.
very ridiculous. But that's kind of the culmination of what the pop artistship has come to. Right? It's a big
But I think
celebration. It's a big
there's definitely like a cast of artists. However people want to take the term cast. I'm using it both ways. And they have their little Grammy thing and they get to invite each other. But beneath that, also in the pop sphere, there is it seems to me a vast ocean of artists that are very, very popular, but outside of that cast.
Mhm.
And I don't think a lot of those artists are necessarily entropic. Maybe some of the
Oh, they
artists
are not.
we
They are not. Those artists. I mean, those artists are the artists that we need, right? But how can these artists promote their art, and how can these artists
social
move their
media.
art to the people and give the art to the people?
Like the really, really popular ones that I know at least, that at least seem to be independent. People like Vinnie Marchi
Hmm.
or Connor Price. Connor Price does more rap music. I'm sure if I pull up my phone, I could find some more
Yeah.
names. But even in the higher caste, or I think even there are levels to the higher caste. There's people like Aurora,
Hmm.
who's making very clearly
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
from the heart. There's people like Melanie Martinez, who also seems to be very in the art of it. Even if they do hire people in suits to help them, they're still in control, ultimately. I think more so than has been the case for a long time.
But how have these
I don't know.
people become known?
to be classified.
how did these people that are not like on the top cast, but are
Like
still popular,
Vinny,
how did they become so popular
at least Vinny Marchi and Connor Price through social media.
for social media?
Like, and a lot of people big through social media. Hopefully we will too. Let's go. Come on, subscribe, like, and
That's the thing. I don't like social media because social media also
instant
gives you
feel
the
instance.
easiest.
Yeah,
Also
no,
gives you. I mean, social media is inevitable today. Like you can't be successful nowadays without social media, right?
no.
But who is behind the social media? Who? I mean, yeah, there is an algorithm that seems to be like pretty free within itself, right? It's an
Hmm.
algorithm that's naturally and mathematically supports what is more liked and vice
And
versa. But
specifically, what is more liked connected to what the viewer likes.
mhm.
I started watching, I watched like two chess videos, and then all of my YouTube shorts are
Everything
fucking chess
becomes,
videos.
yeah, it just becomes chess, right? So that's my problem with social media. It is managed by people who kind of just want to lure in the population, right? They're giving them something that they know that people would like, no matter how good or bad it is for them, right? No matter how much garbage it is, they're gonna give it to them and they're gonna use this to kind of lure people in and to kind of trap people and I mean it's a massive way of control, right? And we don't even notice, right? Like just being addicted to social media, which I feel more than half the population nowadays
Hmm.
is already you're
I
already
certainly
being
am.
addicted of that.
I certainly am.
I definitely am, and I struggle so much with it, right? And then but that's the thing. It's kind of the same tendency with social media as it is with music nowadays. It seems like music just yeah, there is new songs, but
Here's, wait,
songs.
here's
How
a
many songs mathematically? How many songs can there possibly be? Right? How many
millions,
combination
I
of
think.
sound you can make? How many combinations of sound you can make only following one rhythm pattern? Only following one doom chip 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 chip. How much shit and how much texture you can put around one single beat and just create the illusion that you are creating new stuff and you're feeding people new stuff when there is no actual innovation, when there is no actual progress in the understanding of what music is and should be, when where everything is about like trapping people into one point in history and one point in progress and keeping them there, just suck the shit out of them.
But if I'm listening to a song, is stuff being sucked out of me, or am I sucking stuff out of the phone?
That's the thing. If you're listening to one song, it would seem like you are sucking something out of the phone,
Yeah.
right? Like you're listening to one song. This song is making you feel good,
Yeah.
right? It's rewarding you. Yeah, it's rewarding
Or
you.
it might be
But what
making me
about
think. I
you
like
like
songs
this
that.
song? You like the song, right? On Spotify, you like it.
Mm,
So Spotify sees this, and that's how the algorithm works, right? The same with the chess
sure.
thing. You watch one chess video, you like it, and now your whole feed is chess,
It's
right?
just
The
videos.
same
Yeah.
the same with Spotify. Spotify sees that you like this song, and it will look for
They're
similar
gonna give you
things.
more stuff like that. Yeah.
But the thing is,
Which is good.
they're not only gonna find things that are similar. They're gonna put energy into creating things that are similar, right?
The
You don't
Spotify
you don't care
produced
about
music.
you don't care about the new artist that Spotify is giving you, right? You the only thing you care
No,
about
wait, I
is
do.
the song is
Wait,
good.
wait, but I do.
You do, but the massive I feel like most people don't. That's a
I don't
problem.
know. Okay. The fact
Most
that
people don't. Yeah, most people
these
don't. Most people, the only thing they care about is the song is good. I'm gonna keep listening to it.
Of
right? I'm
course,
gonna listen to it once
but people think
and again and again and again.
if this song is good, this artist probably has other good songs.
What about
But wait, no, 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 no.
you are,
The
yeah,
fact that there
you
is
are,
a cast of people below the elite cast at the Grammys that still get a lot of listeners. I mean, people still care about those artists, even if they're not in the elite cast.
yeah, no, yeah, people, I mean, people care about them not because they care about them, but because they listen to their music and they like their music. But picture
Right.
this, you listen to this song, right? And you like it, it relaxes you, it helps you concentrate, right? And you tell Spotify, like, yeah, I
I like
like
it.
this song, feed me more of it, right? And then
Yeah.
Spotify says, oh, he likes this. Oh, I know what is exactly like this. And not only exactly like this, but grabs the best thing about this and puts it together into one song. And that thing is AI. And
So wait,
now
wait, wait. You, I don't doubt this, but I haven't done enough research to know.
I have.
Spotify is making music with AI.
No, Spotify is recommending you music that is made by AI.
Okay.
That
But
is
it's still,
completely that is completely made by a prompt that someone
hmm.
put into AI. And you say like, oh shit, the song is pretty good, and you go into this artist and you don't even look into who the artist is. So, like, for you, looking into who the artist is listening more of their music, right? It sounds so much like Taylor Swift, but it's not Taylor Swift. It's even better than Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
right? It sounds like a mixture between Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter, right? But it's neither of them. And
I mean,
but
that's just
it's
life on a
both
showgirl.
better than them, right? It's better than them. Why does it sound so good? Because it's a completely artificial thing that grabs the best thing from both ends and puts it together and feeds it to you. So you didn't even notice, and you are already listening to AI generated music, and you are creating artificial feelings for yourself. How about that?
I have a question, and it's gonna sound really stupid. How is that more entropic? How does that, why is that more entropic?
Well, because it seems like the spirit of music, the spirit of I think
It's per, like in literal
it's
terms,
mani-
very, very literal terms, to be entropic would mean that it would have to reduce the amount of information per unit energy or or increase the unit energy per unit information. I don't know if it's
so
doing that.
what about what you're doing is you're taking away from actual musicians. You're taking away the possibility
Wait, I'm
of
not saying
making
it's not
people.
bad. I'm not saying it's not bad.
Ha-
I'm just saying that
yeah, yeah,
there
yeah. I
have
understand. Okay, okay,
like
yeah. So,
the whole entropy and negentropy scale is a particular conflict. I was taking it back to the Babylon thing between two gods. It's a conflict between Fanum
mhm.
and Apophis, and those two are battling it out. And I don't think the AI music thing really fits into one side of that conflict or the other. It's a different conflict between different gods.
Mhm.
And
Okay,
maybe it's Mercury versus Aphrodite. They have a conflict about this, and you're trying to lean more toward Aphrodite uh, alongside Orpheus, and the AI music thing is more on Mercury's side.
yeah. So it
That's what I'm
seems.
saying.
I think in this case, what seems to be the thing is there is like artists are not like the top shelf of the artists that are at the Grammy, that are in the Grammy, in the Grammys, the Grammys. Sorry, yeah,
The Grammys.
they are not benefiting from this, right? They are kind of victims to this,
Right.
unless these artists are all towards profit and are not making music because of Aphrodite, you know?
No, but even if it's for profit, like the fact that other people can just do a prompt and make a song, like it increases their competition. It makes things harder for them, especially
Yeah,
considering that their big claim to fame is that because of the music, people care for them as a person. If there's competition against that, like, well, we don't even need a person to make the music. Like, I think you've told me this before. Like, the
yeah,
person that most has to worry about AI music is Taylor Swift.
yeah.
She's the most endangered.
She is the most endangered. Yeah, totally. Yeah, she is. And that's, I mean, that's a prediction, right? That Spotify is going to be this platform for it. Like, music is just going to become a completely different concept for people, right? Music, it's already changing a lot. Like since the beginning of streaming music, of being able to stream music, music has just changed, or the perception of what music is has changed massively, and just like this is just gonna keep making it change. But I feel like artists are gonna have to migrate, and they're gonna have to leave Spotify and find a different way to be able to push their music out, and to do something with their creativity, right? Because that's what an artist is someone who has so much creative potential that they just wouldn't waste it doing accountability work and shit. I don't know.
But here's an idea. Because if if music's gonna get replaced by AI, believe me, accounting work is gonna be replaced by AI
I
faster,
mean, yeah.
way faster. Wouldn't people who have skill in musical production have an advantage in creating or using AI to make music than people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing? I think that's gonna be the real bro. Like a stupid normie is gonna be able to make a good song. And a
Yeah,
great musician is going to be able to make an amazing song like
that's the thing.
50 times over.
That's the thing. You don't. The thing with AI is that how good a song is doesn't depend on how good it is musically. It depends on how many people are listening to it and how many people are liking it. So if you
Right.
can understand what music, well, no, you just only need to observe people, right? You just need to observe the trends, and you just need to observe what artists work and what artists don't work, and what artists are being so popular, right? And not even understand why, because that's a job for the AI, right? The AI can do that. The AI can grab all these songs and understand what is the common thing that makes them so great and so listenable and so attractive for population. So not really. What I see is that it must come to a point of exhaustion. That's what I think. The reason why musicians and artists won't disappear and will still have a need to exist is because AI cannot create new music, right? AI can just grab stuff and put it together, right? And grab stuff that humans have made. Like AI learns from us. AI doesn't have a real creative power.
Right.
So at the
So,
moment that the greatest things that exist today are just milked the shit out of, there must be a point of exhaustion, right? Where all the music just sounds the same because there is a peak of how good music can get, right? There is a so at that point you need humans to kind of find more and kind of
To train the AI.
train the AI to, I mean, essentially do the same, you know. But I guess that's like that's at least my point of view.
Yeah,
And I was thinking right now. I think there is a relation to entropy and negentropy. I relate it to the example in Schweinhardt. Is it called like that?
500.
Schweinhardt.
Zweihander.
Schweinhardt. Fuck,
Yeah, close enough.
I have to practice that thing. Um, fucking German. It is like the example of slavery, right? Why is slavery entropic?
It reduces the number of agents in the system.
Exactly. There is one agent that kind of manipulates everything into one single job, right? And everyone is manipulated into one single job, and there is no the same kind of happens, right? The thing of I as a human being want to make music to to reach people, right? And I want to make music that is successful. It's gonna be completely obsolete because AI is gonna be always be. It's always gonna
I have a
like
whole.
you're not gonna be able to become a
This is gonna
massively
sound.
listened to artist.
I'm gonna sound really harsh, but no one is entitled to success. I can be like, I want to be a builder. I want to make houses, but I'm not gonna use all of this modern tech. I'm not gonna use rebar. I'm not gonna use this stuff. Like, if I can do it, that's amazing. But I'm not entitled to have clients. I'm not entitled to have people live in my houses. I'm not entitled for people to give me money to do things
Yeah,
the
and I
old-fashioned
guess
way.
I guess that's the attitude that artists are gonna have to adopt, right?
Yeah,
That's
like you're
like
doing it the
I
old-fashioned way.
cannot make music anymore to be successful, right? I cannot make music anymore to go on the Grammys, like to win a Grammy. Why? Because my music is not gonna be massively listened to because the
But that
massive
was the
amount of people that
case.
exist.
That's been the case even before AI. Like how many musicians were doing great stuff in the what was it, the 60s and couldn't compete with the Beatles or the Stones? Like there's always this is something really important. There's always something called the Pareto distribution, or the I think it's called the square root law, where the I think it's the square root of the number of people acting in the enterprise is going to have a disproportionate amount of listeners, money, uh, work, whatever. It's also called the 80-20 rule, although that's not really super precise a lot of the time. That 20% of the musicians get 80% of all the listeners. And so 80% of the musicians have to deal with only the remaining 20% of listeners.
Yeah,
Like, no matter what, the majority of people in a big competitive enterprise are gonna not be successful. That's always been the
yeah, yeah.
case
I
for.
mean, yeah, yeah. It is like that. It is already like that. But the amount of people that are gonna be able to to be successful are gonna be even less.
Because the pool is gonna widen. Because like the number of people making music with AI is gonna be huge. And so
Hmm.
people only have so many ears. So people are gonna have a bigger pool of music to select from and not any more time to pick from it. So it's gonna be a much
Basically.
more competitive industry. So many, many more artists are gonna be out of the spotlight. Like that, yeah, that seems inevitable. I guess I thought of a little
I mean, it is. Yeah. It is. It is.
aphorism. which I again, whenever we talk about this stuff, I sound so callous and soulless and, and like a complete piece of shit. But maybe if there isn't a solution, then there isn't a problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, and it makes total sense. I mean, it's very relieving to think about it like that. And I try to think about it like that. Honestly, like it's
Yeah.
like we're not talking about something problem. Well, it is problematic, but every single historical event is problematic, right?
Yeah.
We're just predicting what will happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm
And I
gonna
think
have to live with
artists
it.
are still gonna have money. Like in the same way yeah, people have cars today because it's just easier and faster.
Yeah,
Some people still really love horse riding, you know? And even though there's like massive speakers that people can have in like a party, people
yeah.
still love bringing on a live band. And that's not going to change with AI. Like
No,
maybe
and
someone,
I think musicians are even gonna get more money, right? Because the moment people are when people are going to be listening to human made music is because they want to listen specifically to human made music,
you know,
right? It's something they want, it's a desire. When you just want to listen to music, you just go on Spotify and it's but like you're paying Spotify, right? But it's a very small amount of money, but
mhm.
it's such a small amount of money that it just doesn't even reach the artist, right? But because you don't even care. At the
It doesn't
moment you
reach the
start
artist
caring, then you're giving an
unless,
opportunity to the artist, right? If you want to listen to a human artist, you're gonna go to have to this place and probably even pay more, than you would have to listen to something on Spotify, right? There
yeah,
is an opportunity to kind of, I mean, that's capitalism, right?
hell
You
yeah.
have a demand opportunity there, right? The demand for human made stuff. I guess that's kind of the value that human made and human created will kind of gain in the future. And so
Yeah.
I guess in the future, if you're making music as a human and you're making it for the right reasons, you're going to be successful. I mean, AI is not a threat to you. If what you want is to become famous, and if you want is to become a fucking Grammy winner, then forget about it. Like,
Yeah, like most people, like that's always been the case. Always. Even before AI. Like you said,
yeah.
since the beginning there's been a cast of people in suits. The suits have changed a lot over the last few hundred years, but there's always been people in suits that decide
Hmm.
like, well, this person has good music and they deserve awards, and this person doesn't deserve awards. And we are not the guys in suits. We're just not.
Yeah. And it's not only music, the same is happening with film, the same
Every
is happening
industry.
with literature, the same is happening with visual arts, the same is happening with art in general. The art is
Art in
facing a,
general and beyond art. It's not just artists that are being replaced.
I
It's
mean,
it's
yeah,
accounting. It's lawyers. It's doctors. Fucking doctors are being replaced by AI. Like
doctors, computer scientists, fuck everyone,
everyone.
everyone, fucking everyone. It even seems like art is the only thing that is never gonna get like completely replaced, right? The creation and creativity,
Mhm.
because everything else can be done by a machine.
Now, in the future, machine learning will be us humans learning how the fuck to use all these super complicated machines.
Yeah, just struggling our way like through this world of technology. I personally am already struggling quite a bit. Can't imagine how the future is gonna be. Just trying to just hang on to my seat and
Yeah,
blast
well,
into it.
a philosopher and a musician. Well, what the fuck are we gonna do against AI? Nothing. I
That
just
will be
use it.
good.
I just go with it. I'm like, oh, you think you can help me be a better philosopher? Be my fucking guest.
We'll just keep going with the Rainbow Scroll project, I think. That's the best we can do. Yeah, I mean, number one YouTube channel in YouTube channel. Number one,
Number one. Number
number
one.
one, number one. Mm-hmm.
Like and subscribe. This has been the sounds of Babylon.